Just the other day, the LLCO put out an article talking about El Chapo, and I watched the reaction to it by First Worldists, and I thought there was something very interesting about that. Basically, the LLCO makes the argument that we should not be supporting the extradition of El Chapo to the United States to stand trial, because this is violating the sovereignty of Mexico, that it should be prosecuting its own criminals. This is a demand that's being made by the imperialists, and that we should not be supporting that. This does not mean that El Chapo is a good thing or a bad thing. This is about national sovereignty, and that we should oppose it. The reaction to that by First Worldists was very poor, but the reaction by Third World people was very positive. The First World groups denounced them, sort of going like, they're not real communists, they kill our own people, blah, 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 and, they kill Third World people. Correct. The problem here is the disconnect that First Worldists have from the masses. They claim to represent the masses and that they're allied with them and whatnot. Yet, what do we see? We see El Chapo is extremely popular. Extremely popular among Mexicans, extremely popular among a lot of Latinos in the United States. Well, we've seen the people going out with t-shirts and whatnot in rallying in support of him. Is that necessarily a good thing or a bad thing? Maybe. The point is that they do support him. The point is that First Worldists don't seem to really have their finger on the pulse of the masses, despite their claim that they do. And these are also the same people who run around with identity politics. They are detached from the masses and what the masses want, or more importantly, what the masses think. Now, we really should keep in mind here that the point is to remain anti-imperialist, to defend the national sovereignty of the oppressed countries, whether we like their policies or not. Yes, Gaddafi killed communists. Does that justify the NATO invasion of the country and the mass slaughter of its people? No, it doesn't. Their national self-determination is important. So why does the United States want El Chapo so bad? Well, because the CIA doesn't like the competition in trafficking drugs. I mean, we know the CIA sells drugs. That's not a conspiracy theory anymore. That's a proven fact now. Time and time again, CIA agents get caught with large amounts of drugs, and we know they're selling it to the population. So El Chapo, who has a very good standing with a lot of people in Mexico because he gives a lot of money to poor people, he does do very much a Robin Hood kind of thing. Does that necessarily mean that El Chapo is a good thing? No, it doesn't. He is doing good, but that doesn't necessarily make him a good thing. What it does say is that he does have the support of the Mexican people. He is so overwhelmingly popular that he can't be prosecuted in Mexico. And that's why even the Mexican government doesn't want to do it and wants to send him to the United States. The First Worldists, more specifically First World Maoists, are flying off the handle, attacking the LLCO that how dare you support a drug trafficker. Well, I got a question for you. What do you think FARC does? What do you think the CPI Maoist does? What do you think the NPA does? What do you think Mao did? Do you think the revolution in China was free? Where do you think they got the money from? Mao was basically an opium warlord. Opium at the time was worth more than cash. Revolution isn't free. You have to pay for it. And you need to put this bourgeois moralizing aside and think about getting the job done. And that's very much a thing that First Worldists do. They moralize over the means of trying to get the revolution done. Well, it's very easy to sit there and talk about how that's so wrong to pay for the revolution while you're sitting there in the first world well taken care of. I mean, come on. The Bolsheviks robbed banks. So what? I'm totally down with trafficking drugs in order to pay for the revolution, because the revolution needs to get paid for. Because revolution isn't free. So stop with the bourgeois moralizing over this. The point here is that First Worldists are disconnected from the masses no matter how much they want to say different. They can claim to be united with the masses all they want, yet they don't even seem to understand their most basic opinions. Because a lot of these First Worldists are just, upper middle class, white college kids who talk about how they're down with the black and the brown people, yet they haven't the first clue of what their actual opinion is. And that's one of the failings of first worldism. It is disconnected from the masses. The global bourgeois, which are first world people, are not connected to the masses because they're not one of them. If you like this video and you'd like to see more of them, then head over to my Patreon page and show your support. Or you can go to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and share on various social media.